Okay, 皆さん. Next, I would like to introduce our first new grammar point for Chapter 16. Before I talk about the new grammar point, however, I want to kind of remind you of one of the grammar points that we went over in Chapter 14. So in Chapter 14, we talked about expressions for giving and receiving. So for example, we use あげます to talk about when we give something to someone else, or when someone gives something to someone else and we're not involved. We use くれます to talk about when someone gives us something. And we use もらいます to talk about receiving something from somebody. So these are all concepts that we covered back in Chapter 14. If you want to look back at those earlier videos because you're not totally confident in this concept yet, I definitely recommend taking a look at them because we're going to talk more about this same concept today. So let's take a look at a scenario. 子供にドアを開けてあげました。子供にドアを開けてあげました。How about this next one? おばあさんに荷物を持ってあげました。おばあさんに荷物を持ってあげました。This te form plus あげます is something we will talk about today. So we use the te form plus あげます to express that we did a favor for someone, or that somebody else did a favor for someone. Using this expression adds like a feeling of gratitude to the expression. So, ドアを開けました is just a flat statement. I opened the door. Whether or not there's a child and whether or not the child goes through the door is completely unrelated. I just happened to open the door, for whatever reason. It's not clear in the sentence. Meanwhile, ドアを開けてあげました makes it clear that I opened the door for the child, that I did it as a favor to them or as a way to help them out. So this te form plus あげました emphasizes that it was in some way a favor or a way of helping somebody. So we just make this with the te form plus あげる. And we use this with the same people that we would have used あげる for to give. So in other words, we use it in a situation either where we do something for somebody else or two people who aren't us are doing things for each other. Let's take a look at some situations. So my friend is not feeling well, and I'm going to make them dinner. I'm going to make them some food. 友達にスープを作ってあげました。So I made soup for them. スープを作ってあげました。My friend and I have both been practicing tennis. We're all sweaty, so I let her borrow my towel. 友達にタオルを貸してあげました。タオルを貸してあげました。I lent her my towel. How about this one? My mom is cooking. She's kind of got her hands full, so I'm going to help her out. 友達にごめんね. This is my friend. 友達に塩を取ってあげました. I got the salt for her. 塩を取ってあげました. Here I'm teaching her how to ski. 友達にスキーを教えてあげました. So this te form plus あげました can show what we do for someone else as a favor. Let's take a look at another situation. So here is me and my friend. Here is the waiter. We are going to take a picture and the waiter asks, "What, shall I take it for you? 撮りましょうか?" What will I say? ウェーターが 写真を撮ってくれました。ウェーターが写真を撮ってくれました。How about in this scenario? So my friend is a really good cook and she made a bunch of food for me. 友達が晩ご飯を作ってくれました。友達が晩ご飯を作ってくれました。So my friend made dinner for me. The waiter took a picture for me. So these are て form plus くれました。We use て form plus くれる in the same kind of way as we use that て form plus あげる. So this expresses that a favor has been done for someone. But in this case specifically, it means somebody did a favor for me. So once again, this is adding like a feeling of gratitude. Like, so 写真を撮りました. It's just a statement of fact. So the waiter took a picture. What was it a picture of? I don't know. Why did he take it? I don't know. It's just a statement. He took a picture. 写真を撮ってくれました. Adds the implication that he took the picture for us. He did it as a favor to help us out. We will talk a little bit more about this pattern later on in the semester, later on in your Japanese study, when we introduce the form てくれてありがとうございます, which means thank you for doing something for me. So this is the て form plus くれます. Let's try a couple of scenarios. So my mom, ごめんなさい. It's supposed to say, haha, I'm sorry about this. My mom sent me a sweater. 母がセーターを送ってくれました。送ってくれました。My mom sent a sweater for me. ですね。So my bike was broken and my friend fixed it for me. 友達が自転車を直してくれました。友達が自転車を直してくれました。My dad bought this purse for me. 父がバッグを買ってくれました。買ってくれました。で、this person from the store, they drew a map for me. How can I say? お店の人が地図を書いてくれました。書いてくれました。So this て form plus くれました is used to talk about the favors that somebody did for you. We have one more scenario to talk about. So in this scenario, this is the same kind of situation. Me and my friend are at the restaurant. We want to take a picture, but we want to get both of us in the picture. So I stop the waiter and ask him, すみません。写真をお願いします。で、the waiter will take a picture of us because I asked him to. 写真を撮ってくれませんか？私はウェーターに写真を撮ってもらいました。撮ってもらいました。Here's another scenario. このバッグは綺麗ですね。欲しいですね。お父さん、このバッグ買って。私は父にバッグを買ってもらいました。買ってもらいました。So this is a scenario where we get someone to do us a favor, or where somebody else gets someone to do them a favor. So This is kind of the same kind of scenario as the previous ones. Somebody does a favor for somebody else. There are a couple of differences. The first one is that just like when we use morau instead of using kureru or ageru, the focus is on the person receiving the action. So the person who receives a favor is marked with wa, and the person who does the favor is going to be marked with ni. The other difference is that this te form plus morau usually implies that in some way you requested the person help you out. So, te kureru, te ageru, the implication is more that they just did it out of the goodness of their heart. They just spontaneously did you a favor. But te morau is more like you asked them to do something for you and they did it for you. So, 父が私にカバンを買ってくれました. So, in this scenario, the focus is on my dad giving me the favor. But 父にカバンを買ってもらいました. In this case, the focus is on me receiving the favor. So we mark me with wa. This one also implies, the first one, the 買ってくれました, also implies that my dad just bought me a bag because he's really nice and he wanted to give me a present. Whereas カバンを買ってもらいました has the implication that maybe I asked for the bag, and that's how I got it. So once again, in this first one, in 買ってくれました, we start with 父が, so 父 is the subject, but in もらいました, 父 is the one marked with ni. And in くれました, 私 is the one marked with ni, but in もらいました, I am the subject of the sentence. So 私はもらいました. I received the favor. So let's take a look at these sentences, and this time let's practice putting the focus on me instead of the person who did the favor. So I got my mom to send me the sweater. 母にセーターを送ってもらいました。送ってもらいました。How about this one? So I got my friend to fix the bicycle. 友達に自転車を直してもらいました。直してもらいました。So this てもらいました also shows that a favor has been done, but it tends to indicate more that it's a favor that you asked for. Okay, so that's the main part of this new structure. Let's take a look at the next video to show some other things that we can do using a similar structure.